Quitties? Uh, Hello everyone, this is NASA Bunker 33, coming back, and Quitties, take over. I'm not good at this.
Sorry, you weren't streaming the intro to me, so I didn't know when to start. Hey everyone, this is NASA Bunker 33. I am Quitties the Sprinkler, and I'm the host tonight because the other host decided to get sick and she's not feeling well. She's here, but she's not feeling well and doesn't sound well. So let's go around the table and say hey to everyone. First off, I guess since you've already talked, why don't we go ahead and say hey to Chrismer?
Hey, I'm not that great at intros, because you could tell by my own streams. I'm just like, I'm live, I think we're live, are we live? Yeah, we're live. That is my extent of actually going on YouTube.
We're doing something. I don't know what, but we are doing something.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, you've done a really good job for us so far, producing the show. So you're learning. So there are going to be hiccups, but hey, if we don't screw it up, is it really a Bunker 33 stream?
I guess not. I guess you got a point there.
Yeah. All right, and next is the lady who has a sinus infection. Vishanti, how are you doing?
That's a wonderful intro.
Yeah, that's about how I thought you were doing. Are you watching the Auburn game?
Um. Oh, they're playing right now?
Come on, it's your team. You're supposed to know when they play.
The season doesn't count.
You're just going to take a mulligan on this one.
Is that a sports ball thing?
Do you think maybe they can get Cam Newton back for another year?
Can they just redshirt him? That's fine.
Yeah. Oh, and finally, our guest tonight, the wonderful, amazing man from Globers and Goblins, The Batch.
Okay, that intro left me speechless. Thank you very much, Quitties. Yes, I'm the Batch, and I just want to inform anybody who has read the title that the fat we are chewing on tonight is 100% plant-based.
Yay.
Yeah, it's soy-based fat. It's not fat-based fat.
Right.
Right.
I think Boca or maybe Morningstar
Oh my god.
provided it for us, and it's definitely very chewy. I will say that. All right, so what do we have on tap for tonight? Let's see here. We didn't really plan on which videos we were going into first, but I guess Chrismer, you've got a video up for us.
Yeah.
So tonight we're talking about veganism, but we're going to take a different look than most people normally do, and we're going to look at the case for veganism. And I believe everyone here on the panel, we all eat meat,
Well,
and meat is yummy.
except for the
Except for
batch.
me.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
And
That's why we let you in our stream. I
and
forgot about that.
and I used to be a vegan, but I went back to meat eating because I kind of missed it for one. So I had weak will.
Yeah.
It was a weak will type situation. That, and I couldn't afford the diet anymore, really. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I was a vegetarian for 2 years, and what got me was the lack of protein. At the time, I built sets for theater and movies, and I always felt weak when I was working. And so I started eating turkey first, just to get some sort of protein in my body, and that made me feel better. And about 3 or 4 months after I started eating turkey, I went over to a friend's house and they were grilling steak. And it smelled so good that I just could not resist. And ever since then, I've been a meat eater again.
Well, I'll tell you, there are plenty of plant-based sources of protein. Soy being the biggest, obviously, that most people will know about. But there are plenty of plant-based sources of protein.
Yeah, but then
Yeah.
you get getting called a soy boy, and I'm joking. I'm joking.
Oh my god.
Well, even to this day, I still use soy-based meats in some of the recipes that I make because I do enjoy the flavor and the texture and especially like the ground beef substitute
Oh
is
yeah.
so much easier to work with than regular ground beef. You don't have to cook it before you put it in something. You just dump the pack of it in, and it's as soon as it's warm, it's ready to go. So I do like that, but the reason I really couldn't get protein at the time where I worked, there weren't really any vegan or vegetarian places around,
Oh, there's
and
none here.
I had an hour for lunch, so I would just go get a salad or something like that, and you're not going to get protein from that.
So it's a matter of convenience in that case.
Yeah,
Yeah, 100%.
and
enough.
and yeah, and I tried to stick with it as best as I could, but I needed to eat something. There was a deli like a block away that I went to almost every day for lunch, and I would get a turkey Reuben every single day,
Ooh.
and I started having a lot more energy. But if you are able to balance your diet better, get enough protein, get enough of the other vitamins and nutrients that omnivores get, then being a vegan or being a vegetarian is perfectly healthy. It's just, sometimes people do a vegan diet or something and they don't get all those nutrients, and that's when it starts to get unhealthy.
Yeah.
So
It's the same as I'm not arguing with you, but if it sounds like I am, I apologize. It's the same as anyone on an omnivore diet that just does the diet poorly and doesn't get the nutrients they need. It's just an omnivorous diet is just so much more common, and meat, the animals in the meat industry they're essentially fed and I think injected with like vitamins and supplements and stuff that we need anyway to fortify the meat. So we get a lot of it from them too. So vitamin B12 is one of them, and that's one of the big ones people like to shout at vegans. But you're not getting your vitamin B12. I'm exaggerating a little bit, but and that's actually also added to. That's one of the things that's added to the meat that we get. So yeah, it might take a little bit more effort to get everything you need on a vegan diet, but it's absolutely possible.
Right. And I know every time, because of course, how do you know if someone's vegan? Don't worry, they'll tell you.
Yeah.
And that is one of the worst
so
jokes I've ever heard. And I'm sorry to interrupt. You said it. I was waiting for it. I gotta say this. This is why we always tell you, because food is the most common thing people talk about. Hey, do you want a bite of this? Hey, do you want this? Do you want that? And we have to say, no, this is why, because if we just say no, it's rude.
Yeah, that's
Nice, you know.
definitely
We have
one
to
reason.
say,
There are
"Sorry, I'm vegan,
there
I
are
do
more
this."
there are vegans that have that holier than thou mentality, but
Oh, yeah.
what I was getting at
You find that in every
was
food.
what you said earlier about the B12. I was going to say, how do you know a vegan? They'll tell you. Every time someone tells me they're vegan, I know I always shout at them, "You're not getting your B12." So anyway,
And that's the point I was trying. That's the point I was trying to make. Like, you don't have to shout that at them. Like
Yeah.
we've made the transition. We know we've looked into what we need in our diet. We're not getting the B12 from the meat. We need to find it somewhere else. Okay. If we don't do it, then that's our choice for not having a good diet. Just like the way any person that eats meat, too much sugar in their diet, bad choice. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm going to pick on someone in chat for a minute, but for instance, Punchy, all he ever eats is fast food. And
Yeah, that's not a good diet.
He, of course, he's skinny as hell. I don't know how he does it. If I eat fast food, I gain like 10 pounds eating one burger. I don't know how that works.
People just have ridiculous metabolism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to dissect them, find their metabolism, and take it for myself.
Exactly. Me too. But, some people, people on both sides just don't balance their diet correctly. Of course, it's a lot easier being an omnivore because, basically, you can eat anything and you can always just take a multivitamin each day.
Yeah.
And you're good. But there are things not that multivitamins don't have that you will need to supplement as well if you're a vegan. But as long as you know that, as long as you can plan your meals, as long as you can take supplements if you need them, whatever, then no, there's really nothing wrong with being a vegan. And so let's transition into this first video.
One thing real quick.
Go ahead.
There's a question for me. Since soy is an allergen, what substitutes are there for vegans who are allergic to soy? I don't have a detailed answer to that question. I really like to argue more the ethics and the morals. I do know that there are other vegetables and legumes that are high in soy. I just, honestly, off the top of my head right now, I can't think of them. A Google search will do it for you.
I didn't want to Google search it. That's why I asked you.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Well, anyway, let's go ahead and get on with the first video.
If this conversation were more geared towards the nutrition of it, I would have done a little research and brought more. I apologize. Also,
Well,
Booma said I might needs to go up a little bit.
Your mic needs to go up a tiny bit? Okay, I can fix that right quick. Okay.
And the first clip that we picked out is from a YouTuber that I really enjoy. His name is Cosmic Skeptic.
Yep.
He used to focus solely on debunking religion. But these videos have nothing to do with that. But I'll say, I think about 2 years ago, he went vegan, and this clip is from a video he made while he still ate meat, called "The Meat Eater's Case for Veganism." And I really like this clip. He makes the case that there isn't really any trait you can point to that separates humans from non-human animals to justify eating meat. That's the first clip we're going to look at.
Yep, The Meat Eater's Case for Veganism.
All right.
Cosmic Skeptic.
Different as oysters and chimpanzees, while placing a gulf between chimpanzees and humans, although our relationship to those apes is much closer than the oysters. It's a fair point. Why should we consider ourselves so different from other animals, and to the extent that they're ours to do with as we please? Here we deal with argument number one in favor of meat eating. Humans are superior to other animals because of X, and therefore we can eat them. Yeah, few problems with
The
that.
chat saying there's no
Firstly,
sound.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I fixed it. I fixed it. I fixed
Okay.
it.
Okay.
I fixed it. The audio profile was fucked up. I'll have to change my volume a little bit too. Oh, a second.
Do
Okay.
you or did you fix it fast enough?
I fixed it. I think they only missed like the first couple seconds of it, so it shouldn't.
Okay.
They should be getting audio now.
by what metric are we superior? Perhaps the only feasible answer to this is something along the lines of intelligence. Clearly, human beings possess a higher cognitive ability than, say, a chicken. But my question is this: what relevance does that hold to morality? Why should intelligence be the metric by which we measure moral worth? It's arbitrary. It means nothing in itself. Should we morally value human beings with higher intelligence over other humans with lower intelligence? I think not. But even if you do, we surely shouldn't value them to the extent that they should be able to mistreat, kill, and eat the less intelligent humans just because they think
Pause
they
it.
taste nice.
So, if we did kill and eat the less intelligent humans, I wonder what flat earthers would taste like, honestly.
For fuck's sake. God. You
Come on,
had
you
to...
had to know that was coming.
You had to... I would say... cow manure. This,
Oh my gosh.
well, Nathan
I
Thompson...
wonder what flat Earth Aussie Jesus would taste like.
Oh God,
I don't-
old rubber, old
Oh.
Crocs, old Crocs. He would taste like moldy Crocs. That's easy.
Oh.
But since Nathan Thompson apparently is a vegan, wouldn't...
You dare. Do not.
Nathan
Do not bring
Thompson's
him
a
into this
vegan that
conversation.
doesn't know how to be vegan.
Yeah,
That's the,
yeah,
He's
that's
not
the
one of us.
nicest thing I
Yeah.
can say about Nathan Thompson, by the way.
yeah. He's a vegan that doesn't know how to be vegan. Drinking mead, serious?
Yeah.
Mead contains honey, which is not
Yeah,
vegan.
yeah, no.
Is not vegan.
I want to see him sitting on a stream sometime, just eating a big bowl of Jello or
Oh
something.
God. Anyway, can we
Yeah.
get back onto it then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Clearly, it's not intelligence alone that can justify this kind of practice. And again, why intelligence? Why not choose some other feature than intelligence, like, say, eyesight? Clearly, eagles have a far superior eyesight to humans, but does that give them any higher moral worth? Of course not. What is it about intelligence that its mere possession grants you a right to life and liberty that should be restricted from those who lack it? Nothing. It's a poor excuse. Now, obviously, high intelligence is arguably more useful to humanity than good eyesight is, but we have to be careful to distinguish that we're not looking for how we can judge what is most useful, but rather how we can judge what has more moral worth. And this can't be linked to intelligence. Trying to find a quality that a being can possess to justify them treating other beings who don't have that quality differently is known to philosophers as naming the trait, or as I'm presenting it, the name the trait argument. Essentially, the argument is that it's not possible to find the trait that non-human animals supposedly lack, that if a human were to lack, we'd treat the human how we currently treat the animals. For instance, you say we kill the animals because they don't have trait X that humans do have. And the argument is, if we found a human being who themselves lacked X, would we be justified in killing them? If the answer is no, then we haven't actually identified the trait that justifies killing animals at all. You can put anything you like where X goes. You might say that we kill animals because they can't talk, for instance. The response is, if there's a human who can't talk, should we kill them? Of course not. Now, the ability to talk is, of course, not a common argument, but it illustrates the point. As an example, let's take the earlier and more common point of intelligence. The argument from the person naming the trait would be that we can treat animals as we please because they have less intelligence than we do. That's the trait. Not only is this not technically provable beyond necessarily biased metrics of intelligence, not only does it stink of so-called scientific racism, where the maltreatment of other races was justified by an appeal to their alleged lack of intelligence, but if we took a human being and turned them into the least intelligent human being you know of, would you flinch if I turned them upside down and slid...
Yeah, you turn them into the least intelligent human. You mean flat earthers?
Yeah, JM Truth, basically.
JM Truth, Danny Pratt, right the
Gosh.
hand.
Yeah, I actually think Daniel Pratt may be dumber than JM Truth, so
Yeah, I think so.
you have a point there.
Daniel Pratt is pretty much
And
the
no,
lowest.
I would not eat Daniel Pratt, just so
Oh
you know.
hell no! Oh hell no! Hell no! Ugh, dude, why did you?
So, Batch, did you see the question that was raised for you?
Yep, one of these clips actually answers it. So one of the other clips I have answers it so much better than I could. So I just have to figure out which one it is. I told Vish to remind me after this clip's over.
And I will be adding
Gotcha.
I will be adding in a chat overlay, but not right now, because that would be putting too much on the table right now for me. So yeah,
Little by little.
little by little. Sorry about that. My new
Like
computer.
Little Wolf said, lemon bird.
Oh
I
God.
don't know. Daniel Pratt's still dumber than Lemon Bird.
I honestly can't think of anyone stupider than Danny Pratt. I can't.
I mean, I'm racking my brain, and maybe Flat Out Hero.
No,
Like,
multi Tom
He
Tom.
was
No, multi Tom Tom.
33.
Definitely 33. Oh,
yeah.
I love me a flat earther roast as much as the next guy. Can we get back to the content at hand?
yeah. Yeah, let's get back to that. Sorry about that.
Slit their throat for food. Why? If the argument is that we can kill animals because they're less intelligent, then you're saying that it's merely lacking intelligence that justifies the taking of their life. If this doesn't apply to humans too, then there's something you're leaving out of your reasoning, because it's not just intelligence. And what is that something? Well, it's invariably the mere fact that humans are the same species as you are, and that non-human animals aren't. This, of course, has absolutely no moral relevance of its own accord, and it's just not a good enough reason to mistreat other living beings. It has the same ethical strength as appealing to the innate value of belonging to a certain race or gender. That is to say, it has no ethical strength. And I should stress that this applies for any quality you can think of. All I'm looking for here is philosophical consistency. If you said to me that actually, yes, you do think it's justifiable to kill human beings of lower intelligence for meat, I'd want to talk you out of it, of course, but I can absolutely see why you'd think the same thing about animals, and at least you'd be being consistent. But if you justify one and not the other, you've got a problem. And we certainly can't use morally arbitrary metrics like intelligence to justify the killing of either animals or humans.
Wasn't that the point you said to stop for this one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I want to bring up a couple of things. And right when I said that, my mind just went blank, and I totally lost what I was about to bring up, or the way that I was going to bring it up. I know what I was going to talk about. I just so a couple of reasons, and this is coming from someone who, like I said, I've been an omnivore, I've been a vegetarian, but meat provides us nutrients. Whether it's right or wrong to kill something for its meat, I know that's the main argument with this video. However, it does provide us nutrients, and especially before food was as readily available as it is now. You know, you can go to the grocery store and get whatever you want. 50 years ago, you couldn't do that.
Exactly.
And so, heck, 30 years ago, when I was growing up, I basically grew up on a farm. I didn't live on the farm, but I spent a lot of time on it. And it was one of those, you know, you shoot it and eat it things. So I grew up eating a lot of random animals.
That's a good way of putting it.
And yeah,
Just random animals. Just random animals. Possums,
you know,
squirrels.
you couldn't get meat substitutes back then. You couldn't get all the nutrients just from the little mom and pop grocery store down the road.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, and I won't argue that, 30, 40 years ago that anybody could have been vegan. I don't know that one or the other, because I'm an adult now. I'm an adult. I have been an adult I'm 31. So I know what's going on now. I know the world that I live in. I know that, I'll say with 99% certainty, because obviously I don't know everything, that anyone with access to any grocery store with the ability to purchase their own food could be vegan and get all the nutrients.
Well,
Depending on the variety of foods that they have access to purchase, it may be the blandest, worst food they'll ever eat, but they can do it. Is my point. And since I'm arguing from an ethical and moral standpoint,
Moracle.
I'm not too moral. I'm not too concerned about taste. If that makes any sense.
But the problem is that many people eat not because of the nutritious value, but because of the taste. That's
Right.
Also,
Dark.
I was gonna say too that it's really hard for low income people to eat
yeah,
healthy foods because they're on
I never said healthy.
SNAP benefits and food stamps and stuff. So a lot of that is not always covered.
yeah,
Never said healthy.
yeah.
Yeah, when you get, you know, something like $10 a day as your food for the month, it's hard to eat a balanced diet on $10 a day.
Yeah, that's about what I have right now.
So
That and
yeah, you
produce
buy.
is I work with a lot of people who are on food stamps, and the foods typically that are higher in, like, for instance, like salts and fats, so they last longer, they tend to be cheaper, and produce doesn't last as long, so people have a hard time maintaining their supply to stuff that would be, easier to maintain a vegan diet, just because it doesn't
Exactly.
keep
You don't
as
have
long,
to get
you know.
that fresh stuff, the healthier stuff. There are plenty of staple foods like rice, beans, other types of stuff that you can get right down the canned aisle
Mhm.
that has the protein, that has the nutrients you need, that are wicked cheap, just like anybody would get on an omnivorous diet. You're just replacing that cheap meat with other cheap canned goods or other types of food.
But
I'm not
I
arguing
was
that
gonna-
you need to be eating healthier. I'm just arguing that you can replace the nutrients you're getting from meat with other things, and it's not going to break you.
Well, that
But
would be
if
something
you're-
that would be good is to educate, or at least put more information out there that veganism, on the face of it, isn't just about eating healthy, quote unquote, because most people,
That the
you
information
see
is out.
you see the branding and it's very like leaf and green, and people think, oh, that just means eat more vegetables, and it's not always.
no, it's
And the
not.
thing is, the information is out there.
Yeah, but it's
Just there's so many
But-
websites, so many guides, so many YouTube channels and videos about vegan on a budget. The information is out there.
But still, as someone who is on a budget, if I have a choice, am I going to buy a $1 12-ounce can of beans, or am I going to buy a $1 2 pounds of meat?
I've never seen $1 2 pounds.
You know, I'm well, if it's on clearance, or
Yeah.
$5 for a gigantic tub of chitlins, or
Ew.
uh,
Oh.
you know,
Yeah,
I'm not saying I'm
really
going to go buy chitlins, but
shitty parts of animals like
yeah.
the chitlins and intestines and stuff. That stuff
Yeah.
tends to be dirt cheap. That's
Yeah.
why it's
Yeah.
eaten in like a lot of
Southern.
lower income historical strata because of that.
Southern.
right.
Southern areas.
You know, it's all about how much can I get for my money.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
I-
if I can buy a head of broccoli for $1,
Christmas,
or
I asked you if I needed to do research and bring stuff.
Sorry. Sorry.
I don't know the answers to those questions off the top of my head. I do know the answers to those questions are out there in the interwebs.
Yeah, there probably
Yeah.
are pretty good sources for that stuff. I mean, this is just
Yeah,
a general
the thing-
broad discussion, though. I mean, we don't really do research.
The-
No, I'm just kidding. We do.
the
We need to
the
research
point
it.
that I'm trying to argue here, though, is you will get a lot more food for your money by not eating vegan. So people,
I don't
hang
think,
on. People that are on a budget want to get the most food possible with their money. You know, if I can eat one vegan meal for $5, or if I can eat 3 meals that have meat in it for $10, which am I going to choose, honestly?
But the thing is, I don't think that's true. You might have to change what you eat a lot. You might have to change it drastically. Like you can't just replace. You might not be able to just replace one thing with another thing. You might have to change a lot, and it might not taste as good. But you can do it for the same amount of money. And the point I'm trying to make here is I'm not saying you should change your diet because you shouldn't be allowed to have taste. The point I'm trying to make is that sacrifice of taste pleasure is nothing compared to the sacrifice that the animals make. And my argument in this discussion, what I want to talk about, is how important that moral argument is. That we should be clamoring to find alternatives that fit our budget so these animals don't have to suffer and die.
Speaking of animal suffering, I found this nice video clip here of Angela Davis talking about.
Great follow to what I just said. That's a beautiful segue.
And so let's play that beautiful bean footage.
And when we're ready, I put the clip, the link to the exact time code in the green room to answer Vicious' question whenever we're ready to get to that.
I already closed that window because I didn't think we were reusing. I think I closed it. Nope, it's still open. Good. Okay. Good. It's still open. Never mind.
No. It's a different video.
Oh, okay. Anyway, the animal rights and global capitalism video.
You don't have to be a vegan to be opposed to the systematic abuse of animals, which I think is very much related to the abuse of human animals. The way in which capitalism encourages a prioritization of profit over everything else has had disastrous effects on the production of meat. And of course, all over the world, if one looks at the cattle industry, for example, if one looks at the chicken industry, one sees that the industrialization of food production has led to a situation in which none of those involved actually reflect on what this process looks like from the vantage point of the animals who are raised and then killed. I'm not suggesting that you have to be a vegan in order to have this awareness. In my opinion, it's a question of capitalism. And just as capitalism leads to structural racism that plagues so many institutions and so many individuals, so capitalism leads to forms of production, industrialized production of food that results in systematic violence, systematic abuse. So I think it's a question of helping to encourage a greater and more popular awareness of the damage that global capitalism has done and continues to do to this planet. COVID-19 is a direct consequence of global capitalism, for example.
Yeah,
I don't disagree with anything she said.
yeah, I agree with her wholeheartedly. It's global capitalism is as much to blame for animal cruelty as anything else, really, because
And
yeah,
I do want
right.
to point out something. I don't judge people who eat meat. I don't think people who eat meat are bad people. I do agree with the phrase "meat is murder," but I don't think people who eat meat are murderers. I know those two things don't go together at all, but I don't think people who eat meat, they don't see it as murder. Therefore, I don't think in that case. Does that make any sense? Like, I have my views, but I know other people don't necessarily share them.
You don't force your views on people.
Yeah.
No, I do
Don't
try
proselytize.
I do try to spread awareness and try to get people to see things the way I see them, but I don't try to force it. Does that make sense?
Right. Right. And like I said, growing up basically on a farm, I've been to commercial chicken farms. I've been to commercial hog farms and turkey farms, and the way the animals are treated there is pretty despicable.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all about the cheap meat. It's all about how many chickens can you fit in this chicken house? How many hogs can you fit in this hog house? And how fast can you get them from hatchling to adult and then slaughter them? And so the animals are constantly fed with high fat diets and high carbohydrate diets, and they do not live a healthy existence. So yes, I am going to argue your point for a little bit here, Batch. Even though I love chicken and I love pork, I do think that we practically torture these animals from the moment they're born to the moment we kill them.
Yep.
And it's not right.
No, it's not at all.
Pigs are extremely smart animals. Pigs are at least as smart as dogs, and we put human traits on dogs. I mean, heck, my dog is sitting beside me right now, and she can actually try to say words. That's how smart she is.
I think the clip that he's got, that Christopher has up on the screen, actually makes a really good point, close to what you're saying right now.
And the problem that pigs have is they are incredibly tasty. That's why we kill them, because their meat tastes good. That's
got a question for you.
We don't actually need pork, but pork chops are delicious. Bacon is delicious. Fat back is delicious. Everything about a pig is delicious.
How do you feel about the dog festivals in China? People who eat dog.
I'm a dog lover, and that sickens me as much as the way we treat animals here in the U.S. But that's their culture, and so I respect it.
You're
I
consistent.
don't like it.
I respect that.
But, if they want to eat dogs, that's fine. I'm not going to eat my dog. If I die in my house and she gets hungry, she can eat me if she wants. But
at least she knows she has your permission.
Yeah. Which she probably would. I have not fed her today, and
feed your damn dog.
Yeah, I forgot to. I just bought her a 50-pound bag of food and forgot to feed her before we started the show.
How is she not hounding you?
She doesn't care.
And
she really does not eat a lot. Like a 50-pound bag of food will last 2 months with her.
And I think Alex is Cosmic Skeptic's real name. Alex I think he made the point in the clip we just watched, and I'm sure he'll make it again in one of the other clips, but take out the pig or the dog and put a human toddler in there.
Yeah.
Right.
Pigs are just as smart or smarter than human toddlers. But I'd say 99% of people would be outraged and say no, under no circumstance. Like, even the people who would say, okay, I'll say okay to the dog because that's their culture, they're going to say, well, no, you can't kill a toddler. Why would you do that?
Then again, you can't fairly compare a full-grown pig with a toddler.
Why not?
If you're comparing a week-old piglet with a toddler, that's okay. But something that has had time for its brain to develop.
Why can't we compare a toddler to a full-grown pig?
Hang on. Something that has had time for its brain to develop is always going to be smarter than a newborn, or something that cannot fend for itself.
Tell me why that matters morally and ethically. Why does that matter morally?
I'm not saying it does. I'm just saying that it's an unfair comparison.
Why though?
Because,
And
like
now,
I
at
said,
this point in
a
time,
toddler can't
that
fend for
toddler
itself, but a full-grown pig can.
Have you seen a
not
full-grown
not
pig?
not pig used for food. A wild pig,
Yes,
though, yeah.
I've seen a full-grown pig. I've been chased by wild hogs before,
Yeah.
and
A
of
wild
course,
pig, yes.
I've been to hog farms.
Yeah, those things can cause some damage.
Yeah, and I've,
But as
we
far
raised
as
pigs and killed them ourselves when I was young.
well, okay, well, if you're saying it's not a fair comparison, then what is the part of that make how am I trying to say this? What makes it okay to kill that pig for food but not the toddler?
I'm not saying that it's okay to kill the pig for food.
What makes
I'm just
it
saying it's an unfair comparison to compare something whose brain is fully developed and that can fend for itself, comparing that to something that cannot fend for itself, whose brain is not developed. If you wanted to compare a pig to a full-grown adult, even if you
why is
wanted to
that
compare a
relevant to the
pig to an
conversation we're having?
anti-vaxxer or a flat earther or a sovereign citizen or a woo peddler or anything like that, that's fine.
Then I won't. Then let's leave the fully formed pig out. Let's talk calves for veal or lambs.
And I'm against veal
Oh yeah, I'm definitely advanced veal.
because that's even worse than a commercial pig or chicken farm.
Yeah.
All right. Following this pattern, what about an adult human versus a pig then?
If we had adult human farms, that might be something, but we don't.
Yeah, if human meat tasted as good as a pig did, I don't know. I've never had human meat, so I could not make that comparison without having tried both.
But do you think it would be okay for us to just round up people against their will and kill them for food?
If it's
Well,
against their
we've rounded
will,
up
no.
people and killed them not for food before.
And it didn't
And
make it
did
okay then.
Is that okay?
No, it didn't. It
Was that-
didn't make it right, but we've done it.
I'm not
True.
talking about whether we before. I'm talking about what
And look at the United States. We still
Oh,
have the
God.
death penalty in a lot of states.
Yeah.
So yeah, we do kill people against their will,
Yeah.
it feels like you're
and it's state
taking
sanctioned.
the conversation in directions it's not intended to be
I
in.
mean, this is the logical conclusion if you're trying to use human ethics on animals that haven't developed
Yeah.
societal structures like this. Like, we round up our own and put them in prisons and state sanctioned murder them, and we don't bat an eye because they, quote, had it coming. Just because we're not eating them, it's like, dude, that's splitting hairs. Like, we want to argue
Because-
abstract.
I'm
we
not-
wanna
I'm not gonna
argue
bring up my-
abstract
I'm not going to bring up my
concepts.
position. I'm not
like
gonna bring up my position
ethics,
with that penalty
but
because I don't
We're
think.
talking about like a practical thing, which is like,
But because
people
we
eating,
do have
so.
a developed society, I think that's a separate discussion. The point I'm trying to make is where's the line drawn on what we value in humans versus animals? As Quiddies was saying, he thinks it's despicable what we do to animals, yet he'll still pick up a pork chop. He'll still pick up a chicken, a burger. What makes
Well,
it acceptable?
If I don't, what is that meat just going to sit there and rot? Then
No.
what has the animal died for?
No, that's not how it
my
works.
question
Give more
is
money
like,
to that industry, the fewer people that do,
for
the less that needs to be
I
produced.
can't talk over people tonight. I don't have the voice energy, but
Go ahead and
Um,
talk,
Go ahead.
Bish.
Oh.
when humans were living, in hunter-gatherer tribes and things like that, meat was already a part of their diet. And I'm a little bit confused as to what the difference is in terms of how we view our food then and now. If it's only what Angela Davis was saying, that it's commercialized and it's, packing a lot of them into small in enclosed spaces and like mistreating them, if that's the difference. Like if we let animals be free range, would that change the perspective?
Well, that's not the only thing. The difference between then and now is then we didn't have any other choice. Now we do.
But not everyone does.
They did have a choice. They could eat things that weren't living animals. That's like once we started building societies and having like grain stores and farming and stuff, we could have done it then, but people kind of always had that omnivore tendency.
I'm sure there was some point in the development of society where that scale was tipped to where we could do it or where certain people could do it, but we're at a time now where anyone with access to a grocery store and the ability to purchase their own food can do it. Let's go on to the next
In first world countries, yes.
Yeah, in first world countries,
But what
definitely.
about third world
I
countries?
should put that caveat on there, yes. In developed countries, yes.
Yeah,
I should-
yeah. I should say developed, not first world.
I apologize.
Yeah,
I should put that caveat on there, yeah.
yeah. Because there are 8 billion people in this world, and
Yeah, no, you're right.
what a third of that lives in developed nations,
Yeah, right about.
where
Yeah,
you
you're
can
completely right.
go to a grocery store and buy food.
Yeah. Let me see.
Listen, I did say with access to a grocery store and the ability to purchase their own food. I did put those caveats on there. It just wasn't specific enough.
Yeah. So,
If you want to get that quote from the green room that's got my answer to Vicious question, it's in there.
I'm just flipping
All
through
right.
the videos, seeing which ones we have. Yeah, we already you care. We have established that we do care about animals, so why not?
So,
You already care about animals. Go ahead.
But hold on. Look, a lion isn't going to survive on a vegan diet. Its digestive system, its whole body, its everything about the lion is, I don't want to use the word designed, but has evolved to make it a carnivore. A lion cannot survive without eating other animals.
Absolutely, but
right?
you can.
Yeah, I hear you. But my point is that lions could very comfortably, I imagine, survive without raping each other. Maybe not as successfully as they do, but eating meat for a lion is a natural part, an essential part of its evolutionary background, right?
Yeah.
So I don't think you could judge a lion for eating meat, right? So the argument would be that human beings evolved to some extent to behave in that way as well. So judging us for doing that is kind of there's a weak link somewhere in the argument, and maybe I haven't identified it properly. But
I'm glad you changed the word. You changed to saying it's essential for the lion. You changed from saying it's natural to something saying it's essential.
Yeah.
That's exactly the point, right? It's necessary for them to do so. They're obligate carnivores, right? They don't have a choice in the matter. We do have a choice. Right? We don't have to eat meat. If we have to eat meat, then that's another matter. What we have here is a situation where, as we've all accepted at this point, we don't have to do it. And when you accept that, it means that what you're doing is by definition unnecessary. And what the next stage of the argument is that, well, what we're doing causes suffering. So what we're doing is causing unnecessary suffering, right? And I think that the baseline of ethical conduct is to try to eliminate unnecessary suffering, right? It's as simple as that. I mean, why don't we apply the same arguments to dog fighting, people who breed dogs? I mean, people generally have agreed that that's an evil thing to do. You know, they're not going to give their money to that. Why? Why are people outraged when there are festivals in China where people eat dogs? Why are there protests on the street of London when that happens? Because we're completely selective with our empathy. It's not like we don't care about animals already, right? These arguments that we make about what's natural and what we should be allowed to do to other animals because of our evolutionary heritage, it's like, if you want to use those arguments, let's apply them consistently and see how okay you are with dogs being put into battery cages, right? We have animal cruelty laws because we've recognized that animals do have some kind of moral worth. And if they have any kind of moral worth, even the most minimal sense of moral worth, then what we do to them in factory farms is in no way justified, right? And certainly not by saying that, well, you know, For a lion, it's necessary to kill other beings in order to eat. And so for us, even though it's not necessary, it's kind of maybe a little bit necessary, but not really. So maybe we should, stick a pig into a torture chamber. It's like, I don't see the, I don't follow the argument, right?
Yeah, we pretty
So it
much.
turns out.
Okay.
Question.
Let me point something out real quick. I do have one problem with something they said, and that is when they said, lions don't have a choice, but we do. And that's not the case. Sure, we have the luxury now of being able to eat a vegan diet only because we can get all of our nutrients from it. But humans are omnivores, and if we didn't have grocery stores where we could go and buy everything we needed to get all of our nutrients, then we would have to eat both plant and animal based food.
Well, I mean, that's what he meant when he said we have a choice. He's talking about now.
I don't like the word choice. It's a luxury that we have.
Yeah, it is. It's really a luxury and not a choice. Technically.
I don't.
speaking.
I think we're arguing semantics at this point because you do have a choice when you go to the grocery store.
But then again, what about the people in third world countries that don't have grocery stores? Do they still have a choice? Because they don't have the luxury.
Would also kind of bring up the point that a lot of the underdeveloped nations don't have like chicken farms and animal farms to the extent that industrialized nations do, so that might not be the best comparison.
Yeah.
Right. But they still can kill an animal and dress it and eat it.
Yeah, I think maybe what they were getting at is that on the mass scale of killing animals, like people would do it for food, whereas in an industrialized nation, we tend to mass produce the food, and a lot of it ends up going to waste because we want grocery stores to look full. So you have to produce more than people buy to keep that,
Yeah.
which is wasteful.
Right.
Just to clarify, I just from watching a lot of Cosmic Skeptic stuff, when he's talking about things like that, saying we have a choice, he's it didn't say in that clip, but I know from watching his longer videos, his speeches, he's talking about in the context of in countries like the United States, United Kingdom, where we are in a developed nation where we do have that luxury, as you describe it. He's not referring to literally every person on the planet. So when he says choice, he means it in that context. I know I get like that clip out of context like that. I do get how it could come off like you were saying. So I do understand that, but
Yeah.
know that he's talking about it in the context of in developed countries where we do have the ability to go pick our food. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I don't want to just argue, like, I'm trying to bring up all the points I can. It's just most of the ones that I think of are argumentative to what we're talking about, and I apologize for that because I personally, yes, I like meat, but like I said, I do use soy-based products, meat substitutes in a lot of things that I cook. So I'm on the fence as far as I could be a vegetarian if I wanted to, but if I can get 8 chicken breasts for $10, that's a lot of food.
yeah.
And see, for me, what did it for me was my brain finally associated the meat with the animal. And from then on, it's like, okay, I don't care what it takes. I'm going to find a way, no matter how crappy my budget is, to make this work. Because once it becomes about life and death, as long as I can As long as I can survive, I'll do what I have to do. Like I and most vegans at least I assume most vegans would never say if you can't survive, you should be vegan anyway. Because the philosophy of the veganism is a philosophy of doing the least harm. So no vegan's ever going to tell you have to be vegan even if it means it would kill you. I'm sure. Okay, let me rephrase.
I have met some.
No rational vegan. I realized what I said. No rational vegan
I
is
can
going
name.
to tell you.
I can name at least one that would say otherwise. Vegan Gaines, for instance, he celebrated when his grandfather died because he wasn't a vegan. He literally celebrated. He literally celebrated.
Despicable.
Celebrated a heart attack because he was telling his grandfather repeatedly, you know, he should be a vegan. You should be a vegan. And I'm like, dude, not. And he did this live on YouTube.
Total asshole.
Well, Vegan Gaines is a total asshole.
Yeah, I figured. So, do any of the clips that we have today address the intersection of like veganism and different religions?
Actually,
No?
kind of. We have one.
No. That one, the title.
Oh God, Clover Mom, the vegan teacher.
He's responding to someone who accused veganism of being religion. That's a good clip.
That's close.
Because you'll find a lot of people who are vegans that are not religious at all. Then there are some that are in monotheistic religions, polytheistic religions, everything from Judaism to Hinduism to atheists. So it kind of spans the breadth of that. I was wondering if there were any videos that talk about that.
I would be the absolute wrong person to be
I can
about
talk to you all day about the Jewish food laws and how they're very, very, very to the point of like tearing your hair out specific about how you are to treat animals, not only that you're using like to farm, but if you're going to eat them, there's very specific rules about how you're to go about that, and it's designed to minimize suffering and not allow the animal unnecessary pain and stuff. And it's considered like an evil thing if you make an animal suffer when it didn't have to. And I always found that kind of a compelling thing, especially if you go with the like the monotheistic religion, like the Abrahamic religions tend to view Genesis, you know, as being at least somewhat historical, if not a moral story. And the original diet was vegan. It was fruits, nuts, seeds, plants. You know, there weren't animals at all. And I've heard a lot of people in certain religious circles arguing that it's a moral thing that you would have that diet, because that was an original intent. And I was same with Islam. Little Sten said that. So
that's really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go ahead.
I'm very not religious, so I don't think I'd be the best person to be the guest for that. I mean, I wouldn't mind being on the show for it, but like the guest for it, I probably wouldn't be the right person for that.
Well, yeah, let's listen to Cosmic Skeptic. Wow. Cosmic Sept. I cannot say his name. I can never say his name.
Cosmic Skeptic.
Yeah, let's listen to him responding to an audience
That was
member.
a lot harder to say than I thought it would be, actually.
See?
This one's a good clip.
Say again? A vegan is kind of religion, because you believe in something that and you don't want to see the other side. For example, how many Earths will need to feed 10 billion people only vegetarian?
Yeah, I'll tell you how many we need. We need one, right? We are already growing enough crops to feed the world 3 times over, but you know where those crops go? We feed them to livestock, right? We grow crops in the poorest areas of the world where they need food, where they're impoverished and can't afford to eat. And we take the crops from them and we feed them to cows so that we can eat the cows, right? This is the kind of moral absurdity that's required by this industry. And you're right, like there are serious environmental problems with veganism, and serious problems in terms of like making sure that we have enough resources and whatnot. But if you care about the planet that we have, if you care about the effect of soy farming on the planet, for instance, things like this, you have to recognize that the vast majority of these things are being done already to feed the cows and to feed the chicken. That's where it goes. We've got enough. As Philip Woolen once said, we have enough on this planet to suit everybody's need, but not everybody's greed.
Of the Brazil's force is especially for soy.
Yeah, and where does most of that soy go? It gets turned into pellets and fed to cows.
To Europe, because the Europeans don't want American soy with GM.
No,
Yeah.
80% goes to animals.
That's right.
Yep.
It's going to animals. Because listen, I agree with you. I totally agree with you. This is a massive problem. And I want to cut this down as much as possible. And the way to cut it down is to stop fueling it into the agricultural industry. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
That one's more of an environmental argument. I really
Yeah.
liked his response. That's why I threw it in the green room.
Yeah, that is a.
Well, I have a problem with one thing he said, and it could have just been the way he phrased it, and he didn't actually mean it the way that I understood it. But when he said that we take the crops from the poorest people and feed them to animals, no, we buy them from them.
Yeah, we buy them
We
from.
we don't just make them, grow them, and take them from them.
That's another effect of capitalism, of global capitalism, rather. I mean, it's all capitalism, man.
We're gonna sell your own food back to you.
Yeah.
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 I'm not sure exactly what he meant by that.
Close to the beginning, where he was talking about how much of the world's crop go to feeding livestock, and he said the poorest nations, the poorest places, we take their crops and feed them to animals, and he could have just meant that that's what we're doing with them, but the way it came out, it sounded like we're making them grow crops and then holding them at gunpoint and taking all their crops from them to feed the animals.
I'd imagine he meant the former.
Yeah, it's just the way he said it, but I understood it at first as, holding them at gunpoint and robbing them of their crops to feed to animals.
Yeah, I doubt he meant it like that.
He meant people buying the food from them and then using that food to feed the livestock, because he's right, about 80% of the global share of vegetables and soy and whatever else have you is going to livestock. I mean, do we have an answer for that? I mean,
there's no argument against the environmental case for veganism.
yeah, there is no case.
That's why I'm not bringing it up, because it would be a very short conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like the articles that come out talking about how much methane cows produce and how it contributes to climate change. That one's a big one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hard to argue that.
But
It's
what
hard
would you?
data.
But what would you suggest those cows, even if, like, say, they were released right now into the wild?
That's a different discussion.
Well, yeah, it's because
I don't
we've
mind having that
intentionally overpopulated cows so we can eat them. Like, the normal cow population wouldn't be that high.
This is me. This is my personal response to what you said. I acknowledge that the world isn't going to go vegan like that. If any kind of regulations were to be put into effect to reduce carbon emissions due to animal agriculture, you would see a gradual decline, which means they would, the animals, let's say take cows for example, they would be used for what they're used for, and they would just, breed and produce fewer cows, and eventually there would just be less. And if the world did eventually go vegan, that would just continue until there were so few cows that we could just turn the remaining farms into sanctuaries or something to that effect. If I were me personally, I'm just going to be me personally. If I had the power to just do a Thanos snap and make a choice, I would just all food animals, I would just snap them out of existence because that's the most humane thing I could think for them.
So you would
effectively starve me because I'm very, very meat and potatoes type. Like, I get that if I were legitimately starving, I would fucking eat some green beans. I would fucking hold my nose and I would find a way to make myself eat them. But
that's my response to what would we do about all the animals, is what I meant.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I love vegetables. I fucking love vegetables. I can eat
it's so weird.
fair share of them.
I'm the exact opposite. You have to like twist my arm and hold my mouth open to get me to eat green things. Like, I do eat the starchy things like carrots and potatoes, and I do like broccoli, but it's really the only green thing that I'll eat voluntarily. I don't know why my parents fed me everything when I was a little kid, but as I got older, it just kind of ended up like lots of carbs, lots of well, only a few types of meat. I don't eat everything, but fucking
and a lot of vegetables taste so much better when they're seasoned with meat.
Oh yeah, that's
when I used to have my garden, every fall I would plant collard greens, turnip greens, everything like that, and pick them, and I would buy pigtails because they're extremely cheap because no one wants pigtails. So I would buy pigtails and season my greens with them when I cook them.
Really good. Pigtails is a good seasoning. Well, good for seasoning, at least. Greens. Bleh. No, can't talk. Me brain are smart. I just can't talk.
And Blubber Mom, actually, I know it was more of a joke, but it actually is a point that I did think of earlier and wanted to bring up. Where do we draw the line? Just because
have an answer.
Animals have a conscience, is that where we're drawing the line? It's okay to eat anything that doesn't have a conscience, because a lot of the vegetables and things that we eat, fruits, they're the unborn offspring of plants.
Uh-oh.
Nope, I have an answer for this. And it could actually turn into another ethical, moral discussion that I would love to have. But this is my answer. We, in general, as a society, value certain things in human life, and it's not biological life, it's sentience. And you can look at that as what we consider to be dead. When your heart stops, we don't think you're dead. We just try to bring your heart back. What we as a people consider dead is brain death. And when your brain dies, everything that is considered your sentience is gone. So that type of sentient quality is what we see in these animals that we don't want to suffer. So it's consistency between non-human animals and humans. That's the line that we as vegans draw. It's a line that we already drew as humans. We're just extending it to non-human animals. And there's a conversation to be had there too. But the majority of society already drew that line for humans. So we're basically just asking everyone to be consistent and apply that to non-human animals as well. Does that make sense?
Talking about caring about animals, we've got another video in here of teenagers destroying the eggs of a swan. I don't know why this is in here, but...
Please don't show that. Every time I see that, it literally just... It's extremely upsetting.
Just reading it just kind of upset me.
That's the reason we need to show it. That's the exact reason we need to show it.
I don't know if we can show this or not. But it's just, I mean, it
like,
makes my heart break just
Here's the thing.
reading it.
Everybody with any kind of sense knows there's a fucking difference between, like, crushing an animal's eggs and killing your kids and killing something for food. Everybody fucking knows there's a difference with that.
Yeah.
Like, you just laugh, and it even tells you, like, kids just went ha-ha and, like, crushed it. They're not doing
Or
it to
even
survive. They're not
trophy
wilderness, like, wasting away. Like, that was malicious.
He
and
compares
really
it
different.
to the egg industry. And that's why I'm saying this is a good...
Well, again, this is another thing. It's their intent was malicious from the get-go. Like, they're doing it for their own sick amusement. Like, I hate industrialization of food, and I find it wasteful, and I find it cruel, but, like, again, the end of the day, people are trying to eat. We're not just going, haha, fuck your swan eggs. Like,
the egg industry is far worse than what those kids did to those eggs.
can you...
Far.
But at least they're
Far.
using the eggs.
We're using the eggs. We're not, like, crushing
They're
them.
not
and leaving
destroying
them
them for the
free,
fact
like-
for the
For the laws.
point of destroying them.
For the laws.
They're
We're not.
actually using them as food.
Yeah.
But we
Yeah,
don't
when I
need
eat eggs, I'm using them as food.
We
I'm
don't
not,
need
like...
the eggs. We could... The egg industry could disappear. And it's not gonna hurt us as far as food goes. We don't need eggs. We don't need to grind up baby male chicks in a macerator by the thousands.
Yeah.
We don't need to
as
torture
someone-
the head that
Okay.
lay... That,
But they're not babies. They're unfertilized.
No.
I'm talking baby male chicks, buddies.
As someone, okay, my great aunt actually ran a chicken farm for Tyson Farms, and I can tell you exactly what happens to the male chicks. They go into a grinder, live. It's not
Yeah.
pretty. It's not pretty.
But yeah, but I thought we were talking about eggs, and the eggs
Yeah.
are unfertilized.
Yeah, that's
Well,
what I
They're
thought.
not-
babies.
Video-
That's like
video compared
that's
to-
like taking
They're
a
not
woman's
hatchlings.
eggs. That's it.
What I'm saying is in the video he compares this incident to the egg industry as a whole.
But yeah,
That's
because
another thing is that what I was kind of pivoting off of Quiddies is if you're gonna draw a comparison, try to make it at least consistent that the mother swan was guarding fertilized eggs. We're not eating fertilized eggs.
No, but when you buy
Like-
those eggs, you're supporting an industry that does that to those baby chicks. So
Yeah.
while you may be that egg that's unfertilized, you are still with
Yeah.
your dollar doing that to live baby chicks.
So that's what I would hope that when they're making these arguments, you kind of have to go that extra step, because if you just stop at the egg thing, people are going to go blah, blah,
That's
blah.
why I
like
said
just
we
did.
played a clip.
Yeah, and that's
But-
another thing is you kind of have to hold people's hands and get them to understand that it's not something you can separate out.
Yeah. That was part of the reason I became vegan in the first place. Because I knew firsthand what happened to, still upsets me to this day. Let's get off. Let's not play that, because that's
I already made the
Yeah.
point the video makes, so we don't have to.
yeah, exactly.
Oh no, that one. When I put that one in there, I forgot that one has graphic footage, so we can either play it without the video or put up a trigger warning. Up to you guys, or not watch it at all. But because he makes a good point in the video, so I would just. It's up to you guys.
well, just tell us what the point is.
Yeah.
Okay.
We don't need to watch the video.
Kind of similar to the egg industry. When you purchase milk, you're supporting an industry that when you purchase milk, you're supporting the veal industry, because the cows need to get the bulls are. Do I want us to get in trouble here? So the cows have to be forcibly impregnated with seed that was forcibly taken. And then when they give birth, the calves are taken from the
Yeah.
cows, and the cows, they, what's the word? They have attachments to their offspring in a similar way that humans do. So it is very stressful and upsetting to have their babies taking their calves taken from them. But we take the calves away from them so we can take their milk. And then the calves are sold off. They're either raised to go through this process or they're sold off for veal. And in almost all situations, the process of them being milked isn't someone sitting there on a stool working the udder. They're hooked up to machines, and the milk is sucked out of them, and they are eventually sold off to slaughter for like pet food or something. They're killed in some way. Only after a few years, when they could be living for 30 years, they are essentially
Also-
tortured for their whole lives.
Also, one thing I learned, I don't know if they still do this, but back in the day, they would actually kill off cows that were producing too much milk to keep milk prices artificially high.
That's screwed up.
Yeah, some companies.
Hashtag
Yeah,
capitalism.
I don't know how much I believe that.
What? Just what he said?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well,
I mean,
you know,
I've-
it's not a stretch. I mean, shit, we subsidize the fucking corn industry and all the other fucking industries we have. Why aren't we doing it with animals? Shit.
Yeah.
Because that's a loss of hundreds of dollars
No.
killing a cow.
No, that's you're still making. They're still making that money. They produce plenty of cows. I mean, it's not a stretch of the imagination at all because if if they have too much milk, that means too much supply. That means the price has to go down. So they keep the price artificially high simply by killing
So
off
are they just
producers.
taking it out and shooting it and leaving it in a ditch, or are they sending it to slaughter?
Probably
Because
sending it to
taking it
slaughter.
out
Well,
and killing it in a ditch, that's a loss for them.
well, only bulls go to
Sending
slaughter,
it to slaughter
so
is one thing. No,
I don't think dairy
bulls aren't
cows
the
are
only
meat.
thing that go to slaughter.
Uh,
Because remember, I grew up on a farm,
yeah,
and we had 212 head of cattle at one point.
damn, that's a lot of cows.
I raised cows as a kid, and I've worked on dairy farms. And,
Well, that's what I heard
uh,
about. I forgot what the name of the company was, but I had looked because this was back when I was a vegan, and I looked into that, and they said it pretty much said straight that some of them will straight up kill a cow if it's overproducing milk, just because they want to keep that number artificially high, the price, so they can get more money.
And the reason I doubt it, I seriously doubt they will just straight up kill a cow. They will send it to slaughter for meat, but they won't just take it out and shoot it and leave it in a ditch.
Well, they probably do slaughter it then, but probably I believe it was for leather is what they would do. They'd send it off and have it processed to leather.
Well, there's a whole lot more than just leather in a cow.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of meat there too, but yeah, I'm just
Yeah.
Still, it's just
But yeah,
that
point
idea.
about-
It's just the idea of them killing cows just because they were producing too much milk and they wanted to make maximum profits from it. Because what do they do with the cows whenever they get too old?
Normally, when they're at a mature age, that's when they go to slaughter.
Exactly.
Uh,
So they suffer for their entire lives and then they're sent off to slaughter.
yeah.
Yeah.
Not really on a dairy farm. Those cows love to be milked. Now, there is a case to be made, if they turn the suction up too high on the machine. Yeah, that can be painful. But like I said, I've worked on dairy farms, and those cows fucking love the machines. Like they're ready to get in there and be milked every day. because, you know, they produce a lot of milk. And if they don't have offspring drinking their milk, then it gets really sore. And those machines actually feel really good for them.
You just made my point for me. They're keeping them pregnant constantly, which hurts them.
Yeah.
So,
No,
yeah,
they don't have to keep them pregnant. That's the thing. Once they start producing milk, as long as it's being drawn regularly, they keep producing milk. So once that cow has one calf, they will produce milk until, you know, they can produce milk for 8 to 10 years with one calf.
Then let me rephrase what I was going to say. You said that before they're milked, it's sore. But
not all the time, but they definitely enjoy it.
Tina Jones says they're willing to get milk because they're injected with hormones to keep them producing.
Yeah.
Sorry, don't shoot. She said,
too.
sorry, don't shoot.
That's true as well. They're injected with hormones.
Yeah. Some do. If they have trouble producing enough milk, then yeah, they will give them hormones to make them produce more. But some cows don't need the hormones, so it's, you know,
also
case to case basis.
Also,
it doesn't change the fact that it creates the veal industry, that these cows are they spend their short lives just constantly being milked, and when they're spent, they're sent off to slaughter.
But that's not veal.
No.
The baby cows are.
That aren't brought up to be milk cows are sent off for veal.
Not all of them.
But not all of them, no. But the fact that the milk industry does produce cows that go off for veal is part of the point I'm trying to make. Yes, not all of them, but that doesn't change the fact that
the milk industry can survive without the veal industry.
But it doesn't. What I'm saying is that's
the point that I'm trying to make.
But that's not what's happening, and that's what we're talking about, is what's happening, not what could hypothetically be. I'm talking about what the milk industry is.
Well, isn't this all hypothetical? Because we're talking about, you said making all of the animals that we eat disappear. That's hypothetical.
That was a response.
Pretty much everything we've talked about has been hypothetical, because we're not living in a society where we don't have commercial farms. We're not living in a society where we don't have dairy farms. And
we're talking about the moral and ethical argument for people being vegan is not hypothetical. What you just referenced was a hypothetical answer to a question that I was asked, yes, but this conversation we're having is the moral and ethical argument for going vegan, and one of those has to do with the milk industry. So talking about how the milk industry is today, if you buy into the milk industry, you're in a way contributing to the veal industry.
I would also like to add in about the Kobe beef industry and how those cows are actually handled rather well. I mean, the way the Japanese handled. Then again, at that rate though, they have it's a very limited supply because of how well those cows are treated. And I have a feeling that if we modified what we're currently doing to how they do things, it wouldn't be as limited a supply because of, it would definitely help with the moral implications of everything, because those cows are treated very well. Is the point I'm trying to make. But that's neither here nor there. We're talking about the actual American industry.
I have a slightly different view than most vegans do. If you have a cow or a chicken and you can get milk or eggs from that cow or that chicken and no harm occurs and no death occurs, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. The majority of vegans take the position that taking any products from the animal is exploiting it in a bad way. I disagree in certain cases. Like, I still will eat eggs because I have a coworker that has pet chickens. She treats them just like she treats all her other pets. They're like members of her family. And they lay eggs. I know some chickens will eat their eggs that they lay, but hers don't. So she collects the eggs. So I have eaten those eggs. There's no harm whatsoever. And that's the point of veganism, is the least harm possible. And no one was hurt for those eggs, so why not eat them? You know what I mean? Like, but on, like you said, Chrismer, on like the U.S. commercial scale, these industries can't be like that.
It's about exploitation.
I'm not going to tell you if you have. I'm not going to tell you if you have chickens and you eat your chicken's eggs and you're not killing your chickens that you can't have those eggs. I'm not going to tell you that because that'd be stupid. I'm not going to tell you that if you have a cow and your cow's producing milk, as long as that cow's calf is getting milk, and it, you know what I mean? I'm not going to tell you that you can't drink that milk. I personally think that after all these years, that milk is just kind of nasty, but that's just me. Like, as long as the calf is not suffering and the cow's not suffering, why not drink the milk?
Well, I mean, I'll tell you this much. I fucking love me some almond milk or coconut milk. Like, just, oh my god. Sorry, yeah.
No, you're good.
Well, I like soy milk. I'm not a fan of almond milk, though.
I love almond milk.
I like almond milk. Like chocolate almond milk, I really, really like.
Ooh.
You know what the best thing ever is? Reese's Puff cereal with chocolate soy milk.
Oh my gosh, yes.
God, yes.
If you've never tried that, go to the grocery store right the fuck now and buy those two things and fix a bowl.
Yeah, that is so good. So good.
If you can't find chocolate soy milk, get soy milk and some Nesquik syrup.
Yeah.
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 Not Hershey's, because screw that stuff. Nesquik syrup.
Also, you might want to make sure your chocolate. Yeah, there's a lot of there are a couple vegan-friendly chocolates out there, but most chocolate. Yeah.
If it's milk chocolate, it's not vegan. But
yeah.
Can I just say, for no reason, giggity?
I'm missing out on so much because I can't see the chat.
She said, Raisin said, I enjoy all nut milk, and then a drooly face.
Oh God. Yeah, that sounds alright. Yeah, I like almond nut milk too. I like nut milk too. Anyway, yeah, we didn't tackle the nutritious side because this was really more of a moral standpoint and not a nutritious standpoint. However, I do have one video that hits on that a little bit. Would it be alright to play this one?
I'm perfectly fine with that.
This one is...
click over.
Unless it hurts my argument, then no. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
It's the omnivore versus vegan nutrient deficiencies. This is...
You are gonna find something. It's gonna happen.
I just think it's a good video to end things up with, because it's a very good video.
We did breach the nutrition discussion.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, I wish we had brought this up. I forgot this video was there. I wish we'd brought this up in the nutrition discussion, but yeah. Yeah, let's watch it.
There is some bad news, though, for those trying to eat healthy. Dietary intake studies have shown that...
Can you turn the volume up on it?
Average or not...
No, I can't. It's already a max volume. You can turn my volume up, though, if that's a problem.
Getting the recommended daily intake of 3 nutrients, calcium, iodine, and vitamin B12. Using
It'll
the
do.
same criteria, though, omnivores are deficient in 7 nutrients: calcium and iodine, and 5 others. Still, the EPIC study found this year that vegans not getting enough calcium have increased bone fracture risk. Those getting enough, 600 milligrams a day, were fine, but it's not enough to just understand intellectually that plant-based sources of nutrients are superior. We need to put it into practice. The calcium in kale and broccoli is absorbed nearly twice as well as the calcium in milk, but we cut our absorption rate down to 0 if we let our greens rot in the fridge or we never buy them in the first place. It would be nice if we could somehow absorb the nutrients in fruits and veggies just by staring at them in the produce aisle, but no, we actually have to eat them.
Yeah. So basically they're saying that vegans actually do get better nutrients and vitamins than omnivores do, except for in the case of calcium. That's about the only thing. So vegans actually have a healthier diet than meat eaters, except for calcium.
And I'm going to go ahead and argue against my side here because it really depends on how your diet is on either side.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
The best, healthiest vegan diet is going to be better than the healthiest diet that includes meat because of the higher rates of correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm getting these wrong, but I think it's heart disease and cancer that are higher risks with red meat, if that makes sense.
Well, I view it like this: the best omnivore diet will be a little bit healthier than a vegan diet, only in the fact that you get more calcium. But we don't eat the best diets. People do not choose the perfect diets for themselves.
That's the point I'm trying to make.
In veganism or omnivores.
That's a huge problem everywhere, though. It's not just a one-sided thing.
Yeah.
I mean, like myself, I'll get a craving for food, and that's all I want to eat for like 2 months. And so a little while back, I had a craving for one thing, and I ended up getting it every time I went to the grocery store for 2 months. And it was the first meal that I made after I got home from the grocery store. And sorry, I clicked on the wrong thing. But yeah, the thing about heart disease and cancer and everything like that with red meat, it's all about how much you have.
Yeah.
Right.
If you're eating a 14-ounce ribeye with every day for dinner, yeah, you're probably going to die of heart disease.
Yeah.
But if you're eating, if you have a steak every couple of months, or a burger every couple of months, or just moderate how much you have. Don't make that something that you eat every day. You can eat anything you want and be fine, unless you eat a huge cup of arsenic or something.
That's why a lot of doctors recommend red wine so often, because it's actually really good for artery health. But they don't recommend it every night. Yeah. They tell you,
and it has a lot of antioxidants in it.
Yeah, that too. Yeah. But yeah, but they don't say chug down a bottle of red wine every meal.
Right.
They say every time you have like
a glass of wine a day is probably still too much, but
yeah,
you can have a glass of wine a day and be fine. But if you're drinking a bottle a day, then you're going to have problems.
Yeah, liver failure, for instance.
Yeah.
Really, the only point I was trying to make is you could be perfectly healthy as an omnivore, but you could be a vegan who eats a pack of Oreos every day, and you're going to die of diabetes.
Yeah.
So it depends on you and how you shape your diet.
Yeah.
Right.
But that's, I mean,
I've been vegan for like 3 years, and I'm still 300 pounds. So
Yeah.
I've been an omnivore for. Let me see now. When did I stop being vegan? I believe I was 23, 24, around there. Yeah, 17, 18 years. So, because
Yeah,
I was vegan for about 2 or 3 years, and then I quit, and I just decided I just can't afford this anymore. So I went back to being an omnivore.
now, can I ask a quick question? You had mentioned when we were talking about this outside of the stream that, and because I do feel like I won't say ignoring, but because I just keep saying, anyone with access to a grocery store can do it. I do feel a little undereducated about, poor people's access to food. You said
hit me up on that one. I'm not sick.
What's that?
Yeah.
Hit me up on that one. I'm not sick.
Yeah, that's definitely Vishanti's area of expertise.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I have absolutely no problem admitting I'm wrong if I'm wrong about something. I will get, I get heated if I think I'm right about something, but if I'm shown I'm wrong, I have no problem admitting it. So what the grocery store or the store that you do have access to, because I know you can't drive, right? So the grocery store that you have access to, like what kind of food do they have?
Basically the bare necessity. I mean, they don't really have.
Great, now that song's stuck in my head.
Like a mom and pop type grocery store.
Well, no, it's a KJ's and the Piggly Wiggly. I mean, they just don't get in.
You guys still? Oh my God, Piggly Wiggly. That took me back.
And a Food Lion that's barely stocked half the time. You gotta remember.
So Food Lion is the good grocery store here, though.
The limited knowledge I do have, on as far as the nutrition end of it goes, if you were trying to go vegan again and I were to advise you on it, I would say focus on the cheaper staple foods and look on where you could get your nutrients for those things like rice, things like beans, things you don't have to really spend a whole lot of money.
I like meat. I like nothing more than just have a bunch of meat shoved in my mouth at one time. I just love eating meat.
Giggity.
Still talking about food.
Oh, okay. Just talking about food. Okay. No, actually, I do love me some a nice ham every once and again, and I never eat steak because I can't afford it. The last time I had steak was, oh God, nearly 2 decades ago, nearly 20 years ago. But mainly ham and
I had
chicken.
a steak on my dad's birthday because he wanted to go to a steakhouse. And honestly, that's all the steak that I really want. Like, once a year.
I would love to have a nice steak right now, but way too expensive.
Yeah. Steak is not really my favorite thing, but every once in a while, like once a year, twice a year, it's definitely a great thing.
A steak.
I would disagree.
I mean,
I'm just trying to be.
Remember, you're talking to someone who slaughtered cows and dressed them when I was growing up. So I've literally raised the animal and killed it and
wait, we're still on the border. Damn, I didn't mean to switch over to that. Sorry, we've been on the video screen the whole time.
Whoops.
Oopsie daisy.
Yeah.
I forgot to click over.
Oh yeah. I just looked at the stream.
Yeah,
I was like, wait a second. Did the
we're
stream
talking.
end?
We're talking.
Oh.
No.
Well, I've got it muted so I don't hear an echo, but
Yeah.
is there anything else that we need to cover tonight?
Well, I mean, we've pretty much covered everything.
I can talk about this forever.
Yeah.
And we-
We've been going for an hour and 40 minutes, I believe, and I figure we can wrap up now if there's no other topics or points to make. Or
I want to say one thing. I am very, very proud of the people in the chat for this video. I may have missed one, but I have not seen a single bacon joke.
You missed a couple bacon references.
Oh, I
Well,
did.
I've
Oh.
got some bacon in my freezer, and I'm kind of thinking about thawing it out now.
I mean, no, were they jokes or just references? Like, oh, it's a vegan bacon, or were people just talking about bacon?
I don't know. I've kind of been hit or miss with the chat.
I haven't
'Cause
seen
I'm
this
so
at
used
all.
I'm so used to seeing chats just light up with bacon jokes when veganism is mentioned, but this chat's been behaving and they've been mature. I appreciate it.
I mean, bacon is bacon.
Bacon is bacon, yeah. But I can say that unequivocally.
You know,
Bacon is bacon.
That's
I can agree with
That's
that.
all
Bacon
you have to
is
say.
in fact bacon. And I can't argue with that. Bacon is bacon.
Bacon is bacon.
And the only thing better than a tomato sandwich in the summer, when
The
you go
BLT.
outside and pick a tomato from your garden and smear mayonnaise on the bread
Yeah.
and salt and pepper the tomato, the only thing better than that is a tomato and bacon sandwich in the summer.
Oh yeah, with a nice provolone. Or mozzarella.
There's
And it's 11,
bacon,
12
there's a
p.m.
bacon
and I have
joke.
not had dinner, and now I'm getting really hungry.
Oh, great.
I'm so hungry I could eat a flat earther right now.
Ah,
But one thing I would love, one thing
one of very nutrient dense.
So
I would love
one
to
of the
see
ones
though.
that takes a shower more than once a month.
But no, one thing I would love to see though is the artificial meat industry. You know, actually get to where they can produce sufficient amounts of
Oh
meat.
yeah.
See, the thing is,
lab-grown meat and meat substitutes and things like that. And meat substitute is just one of those things that, yes, we have the soy production to make it.
Now there's one
Yeah,
batch.
Yeah, I'll never argue that meat substitute, other than tofu, because tofu is cheaper than meat in a lot of cases.
And
But I'll
tofu-
never argue that those meat substitutes are part of the anybody can afford it thing that I mentioned about going vegan, because those things are inexpensive.
I remember there was
Well-
a video with Snoop Dogg trying artificial meat. Different recipes with artificial meat in it. No, wait, that was marijuana goods. Never mind, sorry.
Oh yeah. Well,
It was somebody
one-
else that
one
was trying
thing,
artificial meat.
As long as you cook it to at least medium well, then it burns out all the infections from Flurfies. So just make sure you cook
No,
your Flurf
no.
well.
If
But
you're cooking a flurf,
what I was going to say,
if you're cooking a
is
flurf,
the-
you better cook it until it's charred. That's the only
Yeah,
way
yeah.
you know that all the
you gotta kill
bacteria
all
and
the
everything.
bacteria and viruses and things
Yeah,
like that.
because they're high in bacteria, high in viruses, because they don't believe in medicine.
Right. But one point I did want to make, the meat
That was
substitute,
germs.
there's a ground beef substitute that I use that I get in the produce section. Actually, there's Morningstar, which is frozen section, but then there's this in the produce section, and the price of it is comparable to a pound of ground beef. It's a little bit more. It's probably 60 or 70 cents more per
brand is
pound.
Do you know what brand it is?
But I will check. I think I actually have a box in my recycling right now. I'll check and see. If not, I'm going to the grocery store tomorrow anyway,
Okay.
and I'll let you know. But I can't. It may just be 12 ounces instead of 16 ounces, but for like 50 to 70 cents more for that. But you know,
I use the
if you cook down 16 ounces of ground beef, you're going to get 10 to 12 ounces.
Yeah.
So basically the same thing. And when I make tacos, when I make a pot of chili, things like that, that I would normally use ground beef in, I use this instead because it's basically the same price and it's a lot less work. And I've gotten to where I like the flavor of it and the texture of it better than ground beef.
Me too.
I'll tell you this. I'll tell you this about the local grocery stores, though. They don't even sell tofu down here. You can't find tofu. No, they don't sell tofu.
And I was talking. I was talking. Punchy and Factard and I had a voice chat earlier. We were shooting the shit, and they were asking about the show tonight. And I was telling them it was on veganism, and I was telling them that I really love tempeh.
Tempeh, yeah. That's what
It is
earlier.
so hard to find around here.
Yeah, you can't find it around here.
Like my sister lives in a big city, and I have to have her go to like Trader Joe's or somewhere and get me tempeh and bring it. That's the only place I can get it.
Yeah.
Everybody's crazy about tempeh. I really like seitan, and that's seitan and not Satan.
I mean, I love Satan.
Although
I love me some Satan.
Well, I love Satan.
I mean, we all love Satan down here.
Hell, Satan.
Hell, Satan.
Yeah, seitan is essentially wheat gluten and a couple other things rolled up into a loaf and baked, and it comes out like meat, and it's freaking amazing.
Gotcha.
Okay, here, I'm going.
Yeah, tempeh is
Dick in the chat.
Dick.
Tempeh is more I'm pretty sure it's soybean, but it's cut up and stuck together basically.
Yeah,
but I swear, just put a little olive oil in your pan and fry it and get the outside golden brown, and then make a stir fry or something and throw it on top. Oh, it's so good.
Talking about food on a stream where we talking about veganism.
Well, I'll say this.
So, okay,
I'll say this.
We're going to have to end this stream because I really need to make dinner now.
I'll really say this.
It's having the opposite effect that I intended.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'll tell you this though, a nice yakisoba will beat any meat any day. Yakisoba's the best.
Hey, Prismer, think
Well,
about what
I
you just...
beat my meat earlier, so
oh my god.
There you go.
I've been waiting to make that joke the entire stream.
I hate you so much.
Sure you have.
Love you, man.
What's up, Dick?
Yo,
Oh,
No
boy.
speak.
yo, Dick.
No speak. Dick.
Dick.
You just wanted us to say dick a bunch of times.
I wonder if it's actually, am I picking up? Am I coming through?
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, you're good, man.
All right. Yeah, that's good. All right. I thought I should be, but I wasn't sure, because, I mean, I must be on like beer 10 right now. I am Canadian, people. Okay, come on.
And that's our show.
Join us next week when we discuss whether being Canadian is the moral thing to do.
Well, it's the drunken thing to do, let me tell you, because we're really good at it. So,
Damn right.
Oh fuck. Why does this have to happen on a night where I'm like no energy? This sucks.
Yep,
I hope
that
you
always
feel
happens. I hope you feel better, bitch. But yeah, that.
To all those watching the next episode of Globers and Goblins with PAC Tony, FTFE, yours truly, Charisma and Vishanti, is going to be on the 21st.
Can we play this upcoming Monday because I have Mondays off for the next month?
I don't think we can do that with that sort of notice.
That was rhetorical. I know we can.
Oh.
You know.
Well,
hey,
let's.
everybody that's new. Sorry, we're wrapping up.
Yeah. Let's let the.
All right. Let's go around the table. Batch, since you're a guest tonight, final thoughts.
Think about the animals and go vegan.
Good final thoughts. How'd you enjoy the show? I really didn't mean to argue with you a lot. It's just everything that came to mind ended up being an argument.
No, there were a couple times where it felt like you either you weren't getting what I was trying to say, or I wasn't explaining it that well, and it sort of felt like it was going in a different direction. But you were able to explain it well enough that I realized we were staying on topic, and that's just part of the discussion. And I didn't feel like you were being too argumentative. I mean, I did come here to have a talk about veganism, so I mean, yeah, you're totally fine, dude.
Yeah.
And yeah, I absolutely enjoyed coming on here. I was a bit nervous, but I mean, I like all you guys.
It was a great talk. I'll say that. It really was a great talk, and I really hope the audience takes a lot from our talk.
I do too. And if you guys wouldn't mind popping a link down to the Cosmic Skeptics channel in the description, because he's got a lot of great stuff on this.
Yeah, we can do that, I believe. All right, and our other guest, Dick Dawson. Final thoughts on what the best beer is.
Well, I got to join a little bit late, and it's too unfortunate because this was actually a conversation that I would have liked to have been a little bit more involved in, even if it's just be a passerby on the side listening in. But I would like to say that whatever opinion was put forth that was the strongest doesn't matter. As long as Vishanti agreed with it, it's right. Otherwise, it's wrong. The rest of you are blowhard motherfuckers who should pull your heads from your asses and clean your fucking ears. Because I swear to God, woo peddlers far and wide will be stomped out one by one.
And some goddamn bacon.
Ow.
All right, Vishanti, final thoughts.
Oh my god, I'm gonna slam so much NyQuil, you guys. Oh my god, I am so out of it. All of this medication I'm on for this sinus thing. Yep, Surface, right? We're demonetized. We're not even monetized to get demonetized. We're negatively monetized.
We're having to pay YouTube at this point.
Yeah, we have to pay YouTube.
What, you thought this hallway was free?
Oh my god. Yeah,
all
that's
right.
what I got. I can't form coherent sentences right now.
Yeah, the club that we're currently behind. Apparently they must have lost their music because we're not. We can't even hear the music anymore. Damn it! Wake up, DJ. Woke up. Go ahead, wake up, DJ.
Well, since you're talking, Charisma, final thoughts.
Final thoughts. I love cramming meat into my mouth.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
That's my final thoughts. I love the taste of a nice select, sausage.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
I mean, Yeah, it does suck for the pig that so many delicious things come from it.
Yeah.
Because sausage is delicious, bacon is delicious, pork chops are delicious, barbecue is delicious, ribs are delicious, fatback is delicious, hog jowl is delicious. I even love pickled pig's feet. So there.
Okay, here. Here. Penis joke. Penis joke. There you go.
Christopher, you are a penis joke.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
So little says have the Hobbit on EIE Network, and for the uninitiated, I am the Hobbit.
Yeah, Little Wolf, when I said barbecue, that's what we call pulled pork in North Carolina.
Yeah, barbecue. Pulled pork. No, that's...
We have a totally different association to pulled pork in Canada, but I'm not going to go into that right now.
Oh my God.
Well, I already made the beat your meat joke, so we're good there.
And I've already made
joke.
I've already made plenty. I made plenty of gay jokes by now, so I mean,
it had to be done though. Come on.
Yeah.
All right, before this devolves any more than it already has,
Not sure
I think we're going to get the hell out of here so that Fish can get some rest and get better, and Dick can get drunker, and Batch can go eat some nuts and berries, and Chrismer can eat some meat, and I can eat whatever the fuck's in my fridge.
Screw you! I'm having peanut butter and jelly, asshole.
That's exactly what he's eating. It's just in a like smeared.
Oh jeez.
Just eating nut juice.
Pedal your woo, and we will knock it through your dental work, ladies and gentlemen. Bring it on.
Yes.
Oh God. Today, Beth realized that peanut butter jelly is nuts and berries.
Yeah, it's literally nuts and berries.
Yeah. So yeah, fuck you, Batch. I was right. Damn, I kind of want a peanut butter and jelly now.
Yes.
And play us out.
You guys know what's actually really, really good? Peanut butter and dill pickle.
God, no.
You are one sick and twisted son of a bitch.
Yeah, you are.
No, I'm
peanut
Southern.
butter and dill pickle. I mean, I can take peanut butter and black olives, but not dill pickle.
Yeah, dude, what the fuck, right?
I grew up in nowhere, Alabama, and I've never heard of pickles and peanut butter.
What? Well,
and we picked up another guest. We picked up another guest somehow. Steaming Cup of Reason.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Steaming Cup of Reason's here. Final thoughts. Steaming Cup of Reason.
First and last thoughts. None.
All right, great thoughts.
Great thoughts.
Great thoughts.
And welcome to the psychic interview.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can you hear what I'm thinking? Can you hear what I'm thinking?
Well,
I
was going to say to play us out, but since we have another guest that just came in.
Jinshu. Peanut butter with dill pickles and mayo. There you go. I don't really like mayo. But
What's wrong with you guys?
What?
Dude!
Oh, man.
Dude.
So I'm not the only one. Don't knock it till you tried it.
Oh
no,
man.
I'm okay.
Dude.
I'm fine. I am perfectly fine without that.
What the fuck?
Oh
my God, and now Boomer's here. Shit.
Okay.
I swear to God, okay. I will
Someone
come
hit
to this
me up
channel
right now.
for the debunking because it's funny, but I am not coming for the culinary experience because you guys are fucked up.
So when the kids
Well,
are happy, it's all
Get
My-
off my lawn, you bloody kids. Get out of here. I'm trying to get some sleep.
Well, I know my brother used to eat peanut butter and mayo sandwiches, so I'm like, no.
The fuck?
Yeah.
Okay, you know what I saw yesterday at the liquor store here in North Carolina? We have they're called ABC stores. They have in our liquor store. They have a local section like North Carolina liquors, and they had pickle moonshine.
Oh,
That's not right.
That's
That's
not
not
right.
right.
That's not
with
right.
Pickle spears in it.
My sister-in-law loves it.
Oh God.
what's wrong with people.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's not right. That is incorrect, and I'm sorry that it was brought up on a live stream. It will never happen again.
That is unholy. That is literally unholy. I mean,
Yeah.
Jesus would not like that.
Well, I've had a lot of moonshine in my life, but I can say for sure that I've never had pickle moonshine.
No shit, man. What the hell?
I kind of want to try it though, to be honest.
Dude, that
Nope.
sounds revolting.
Nope.
Come on.
Okay,
Nope.
I'm one of those people. I
Nope.
will try anything
Nope.
once. If it's tasty, I'll
No.
try it a second time.
No.
Yeah, I agree with the no. Commandant
No.
has it all in spades, man.
That's
Well, I
that's a
also like
hard
sour
no.
meat, so
That's just a hard no for me.
And for those of you that don't know what souse meat is, some people call it head cheese.
That's another rabbit hole. That's
If
15
my-
minutes of saying goodbye again.
If my drink doesn't have a little cute little umbrella in it, I don't want any part of it. Sorry.
I'm only concerned with how cute the umbrella purchaser and placer is, to be honest. But, you know. Yeah.
What a way to
But,
go.
you know, it's unfortunate, but I'm probably the old guy of the stream, too. So that sucks. Right?
That's
No.
okay. We're not far behind you.
Yeah.
Oh, I hope not. Damn it.
I feel old.
Then you must be on my heels.
Yeah, that's what happens when you break your spine and are disabled, and it hurts to stand up.
Oh, dude, I've been feeling that for like years of life, and just the last few days, I was the tire bomb king of Canada. I tell
my
ya,
God,
I
I
am
love that.
living on that stuff right now. Oh, it's terrible.
It's the shit.
I remember a time in my life when I took narcotics for fun.
Yeah, I remember that. That's a long time
Yeah,
ago.
that's
Isn't
a
it?
long time ago.
The good old days.
Yeah, when
Now
they
I
were
think it's because I
entertainment,
have
not a lifestyle.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, I think this has devolved to the point that we can happily end it now.
And I think I'm going to start calling you Dick the Derailer Dawson.
I'm bad for that. Especially on like beer 12 where I am right now. So, you know.
Damn.
It's what it is, man, you know.
I think we need to lock you out of the stream room.
Yeah, well, you gotta lock me out of something, I tell you.
The liquor cabinet.
Just don't lock you out of the just don't lock you out of the beer cooler.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
Trust me, folks, in
I'm
this
not an
condition
enabler.
with Dick,
I don't know what
when
you're
Dick's
talking
in this
about.
condition, man, we haven't even begun the slow descent to the abyss.
Wait. We weren't in the abyss already? We weren't already
We
in
were
the
trying
abyss?
to wrap up 25 minutes ago. I just want to remind
Yeah.
us that.
Yeah, ask the rest of my crew how it goes. Holy fuck, I'm trying to be good right now.
I know. I was like, wow, you're in really good behavior.
Yeah.
Well, hold on a
trying,
minute.
man.
Hold on a minute. Speaking of medication, I do have to take mine. So give me a minute. Y'all just
And
continue. Just
I am
continue talking.
kind of curious about this giant tree vibrator, though.
I've been
write
looking
my
at
own
that too.
prescriptions.
I was looking at that too. I was like, "What? The giant tree vibrator? What?"
Okay, so
What?
do you guys know how cherries are harvested?
Is that a sick joke or a real thing?
They actually use giant tree vibrators. They
Ah.
have this. They have this thing on the front of a tractor that basically looks like an upside down umbrella, and they drive up to it and close it around the base of the tree, and then it vibrates the tree, and the cherries fall into it.
Talk about cherry picking. Damn.
Yeah, that's some cherry picking for you.
Yeah, but that depends on. Hold on.
Industrial
that
cherry
depends on
picking.
where you live. Now, I'm not discrediting what you're saying because you're absolutely correct. But when you're talking about, no, I'm not kidding because of where I live. We have cherries that grow in my area that the Japanese and stuff come over and pay serious money for, and they do not get picked by no machine. They get picked by human hands.
You're in
right?
Canada, though. I'm in the U.S. We're fucking lazy here.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm in a very special part of Canada that's kind of a desert, and we have I'm surrounded by vineyards and orchards and where I live, and we got lakes on either side of town, and it's like I'm in Canada's Monaco. You know what I mean? Like if you know Monaco. Sorry?
It's not all snow and maple trees up there?
We haven't even seen snow yet this year, and I'm like when I go outside, I wear a pair of jeans and a leather jacket right now. Like we haven't even seen winter.
I'm in the South. I wore t-shirt and shorts today.
I have my AC on right now, actually.
Yeah, well, see, we're for a Canadian, I have
Which I
the
just cut
most
off.
lush weather that anybody could ever ask for. Like here, do summer temperatures, right? Do Celsius. You guys will have to do the conversion. I'm sorry, I don't really know them very well. But in peak summer here, we get 40 Celsius.
That's fucking hot.
Jesus. That's 100 and something, like 105-ish.
Oh yeah, it's fucking hot. Like it's a desert where I live, right? And I'm in Canada.
But is it high humidity as well?
Oh no, we have two small lakes, but we're 1,100 feet up, so we have desert humidity, and that's why our winters with weather inversion based on the cloud cover and stuff, we get like right now we're mid-December almost, and in Canada most people are buried in snow, and I've only seen like 2 days of snow and it melted as soon as it landed. And right now, I can go to the store in a t-shirt, a leather jacket, and a pair of jeans.
Yeah. Well, I've seen snow one time in the last 4 years.
Yeah,
And it was
about
worried.
same here.
But you're not above the parallel that I am.
Yeah.
Right? Where I live, it's a freak condition that we don't get it. Where you are, you damn well better not get it. It's a big difference, right?
Well, we used to get snow, several times.
True enough. Yeah.
But this whole global warming thing, it's kind of tapered off in the last 20 years.
Oh, where I used to live as a kid, down by Vancouver, we used to go tobogganing in a place called Diefenbaker Park. And nowadays, for the last 10, 12 years, 15 years, whatever it is, they don't get snow there anymore.
Yeah, I don't doubt it. Well, hell, I was watching football earlier today. I was watching the Northwestern game. Northwestern is right outside of Chicago. And this time of year, there's normally a foot of snow on the ground. It was raining during the game.
Yeah.
It's not even
crazy.
snowing there. And when I lived in Chicago, it started snowing around Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
and it snowed until April. And that was just 15 years ago.
It's crazy the change we're seeing right now. I think everybody was trying to get us off the air like half an hour ago, and we were doing,
so
it's kind of bedtime for our
yeah.
East West folks over here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So-
damn it,
so
there's
how
so
about
many
them
good
vegan?
conversations here. This sucks.
Well,
Oh, we have
maybe
to
you
do this
shouldn't have
again.
come in so late and hijacked a stream that was about something entirely different.
Yeah, I do that a lot.
He does that. He does that a lot. That's how it goes on YouTube.
Yeah. That's a Dawsonism. It just happens.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Vishanti, final thoughts.
No.
Okay, bye.
All right.
Bye, everybody.
All right. Everyone say bye and we're out.
Good
Bye.
Babies.
Bye.